Good evening and welcome to the Mayor's Update.
Here we are,
We are.
6:30, right on time.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you all here tonight. It is another kind of cool night, but
Beautiful
for November,
day.
I'm pretty pleased with it.
Gorgeous day today. The sun came out. It was nice to kind of pop outside a little bit.
Well, I had those kind of meetings all day kind of stuff, but we did a emergency crisis tabletop today with the emergency control group.
What happens at
We
that?
have to practice at least once a year as if there was.
Like, are we talking like alien invasion?
I think I'll let you know that today's sample practice was about a tornado touching down in part of St. Thomas.
Wasn't there a movie that was made kind of about that?
Well,
Twister.
Well,
was it like Twister?
It is. But we look back at what happened in Godrich when it did actually happen there, and we talked, right? But it's about, are all the departments on the right? Do we have the right capabilities? What if phones, internet, everything was also went out? What would happen? And
was there a weak link? Can you share?
No, it's just truly no. It was pretty good. We've been through remember when we had COVID? That was a really almost a year and a half worth.
Vaguely remember COVID
of crisis management. So we knew it has to be declared. Once it's declared, then we can ask for certain help from the province and the feds. And we certainly talk to our neighboring communities immediately. The mayor's role is to declare the emergency and then also touch base with the federal and the provincial representatives, and then neighboring mayors and such, and then to handle communications as we go through the exercise.
So would you get in touch directly with them or with their admin staff?
I'll call who I can get, right, to let them know in case we need fire department support from Yarmouth or from Southwold or electrical trucks or whatever it might be, depending on what, right? So we reach out and then we kind of hunker down and start communicating with the public as to what's going on, what we're doing, how serious it is.
Are there other people acting as the public, replying to your comments?
Not in this one, there wasn't. But in one of the other tabletop exercises we did, we actually had someone pretend they're the media and ask questions.
Oh, wow.
About,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're prepared?
I think we are prepared as a city because we have one of the greatest leadership teams, right, between Lisa and her leadership teams and the political side to do it. But we all have to also have a redundancy.
Yeah.
I have another member of council who is me. If it goes on longer than a day, no one's going to be able to go 24 hours. And so we can tag off. Or I'm out of the country attracting more business to St. Thomas or something like that, then there's, we're all trained to be able to do the same level of work. So it's fun. It was a, although it's very serious work, it was fun to see that things clicked and we were able to look at it. And I don't know, our deputy fire chief is the emergency control officer, and he ran the exercise for us. So that was fun. Right?
Who's our deputy fire chief?
Scott, now you're going to put me on the spot.
Well, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, they've switched around a fair amount. So
a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll think of his last name before we finish the show tonight.
Very good.
Excuse me. Google, quick. No. But, sometimes you have to kind of stretch yourself. And you and I were talking just before we went on air about there was some computer glitches today out there. There's other computer programs or internet programs that weren't functioning. And that many companies are having to build redundancies in so that if your main cloud source fails, you can get to another. That's kind of what the practice on the crisis management is like. Is okay, now, we start off with a simple tabletop exercise and then go, okay, and now none of your phones work.
And what happens then?
Well, then you say, what would happen if that was the case? Certainly our police have backup radio and a bunch, and they would be on site, and we could at least talk to what's going on. But it's filling in. It's funny, one of the big things that happened in Godrich, when that occurred, everything went out, phones, electricity, everything was on. And so the local radio guys.
Oh, ham radios?
Yeah,
I love it. It's just like a film.
Yep, it is. Hey, and you better be prepared at every level through all that. So that's fun. Hey, folks online, we've got city business to talk about. We got upcoming events. We can brag on some real good past events. That Light Up Talbot had a crowd of people at it last week. Grayden, way to go with the Downtown Development Board, and
it was a packed. If anyone was not there, it was packed.
I was, of course, at the Warden's Banquet instead, because it happened on the same night out in Southwold. But all the members of council that attended Light Up Talbot said, we started with Pumpkin Prowl and we filled the streets. And then we had Light Up Talbot and we filled the streets. And we know next Saturday coming up,
we're going to fill the streets.
Well, we've got the Santa Claus Parade happening.
Packed up and down Talbot.
And the last number of years, it's been a packed event also. We're getting pretty good at driving people downtown and letting them see what the downtown has to offer.
Yeah.
Right. And many of the merchants I've talked to said, well, there are people who didn't know I was here, and now they do. So that's why we do these types of functions.
And if you were out, you would have seen that the snowflakes are up on Talbot Street.
Yes, we should brag a little more about spending 2 Saturdays trying to fix all those snowflakes so that they could go up. But I did drive Talbot Street from end to end the other day going, oh, look, snowflakes. I think I fixed that one. I think I fixed I'm not a handy guy.
And I was talking to some people, and they did notice that in some sections, on some
there
of
are
them,
still some pieces,
little pieces out. And so I explained to them very clearly, like every snowflake's unique. We don't want them to all be the same.
They are not the same, right?
Yeah.
Some are blue in the middle, some are not, and some are. And you're right. There was, at the end of the repairs of about, I guess, 30 snowflakes.
Around 30,
right? It became really a lot to replace all the lighting around the middle of the snowflakes. And so sometimes we went, it's 3/4 lit. Yeah, it's going to look unique up there. Let's do it. And so we do say,
is this worth $1,000?
Well, because that's what somebody wanted to charge us to fix the snowflakes. So with Grayden's guidance and a bunch of other handier people than me,
couldn't have done it with all the volunteers.
No,
and
it was great. So what have we got? Any questions come up, please get them in early tonight. We've got time to answer some questions today about what's happening in the city. I see Julian has said, hey, thanks.
Hey, Julian.
Yeah.
There's a question in terms of what happened at council, and you've got all the stuff.
I've got the agenda, so we can go through that too. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about council then. There was a lot of Planning Act stuff because the province has put forward a number of changes to the Planning Act in order for us to be able to more quickly approve housing, building, and stuff. So we had to put some of those into bylaws. So the Planning Act and Bill 60 fighting delays. We talked about proposed amendments to the site plan control bylaw, which follows after that. Right, was done. The FCM, the federal community, was that federal? It's municipalities, the federal Canadian municipalities, FCM, right? Has a program that they do the granting for federal funds, and this is called the Green Initiatives Fund. And we had applied for it, we got it. So now we're putting together a Green Initiatives plan, but the FCM also supplies Green Initiative funding. So things like tree planting and some recycling stuff, and so we're now part of it. They've given us $70,000 for us to finish the plan, so that we can then apply for more, which is way to go. Right? We talked about, here's a neat one, telecommunication towers, and we don't think anything of them till our phones don't work. Of course, right? But sprinkled through our community, there are telecommunications
Grand
towers.
Central. If you look at the top of Grand Central, it's kind of like a scene from Star Wars.
It's got lots, right? Yep. And there's one over in the by the Central Ball Diamond.
The New York Central Ball Diamond?
Yes. There's a tower there with all sorts of stuff on. Anyway, cities don't get to approve those. Cities get to, they are all approved federally and by their location federally, but then it does come to the city to approve, yes, it'll be okay if we do it too. But it's a federal jurisdiction. And so we talked about those. My understanding, we even collect some taxes based on the fact that there's a cell tower on some areas. So we talked about that last night. We talked about a generator feasibility study. Now, we tend to use the Jill Thornton Community Center as our emergency cooling and warming. And as I said, we practiced crisis exercise today, and it would almost always be a meeting place where people would be sent if their community or their neighborhood was abandoned or something was happening.
Yeah.
It does not have a generator.
Right.
And so we're talking about, do we install a generator? That came to council last night. It'll be part of budget as to whether we will do it or not. How about free transit on New Year's Eve?
Fantastic. I love that concept.
Yeah.
Love that you've done it for multiple years now.
A number of years, and we get some use on it. And if we save one life because somebody's not trying to drive their car to a local club and then back home again, we're happy to do it. All year long, we've been getting some input from where should we move no parking or stop signs further back from stop signs parking because of visibilities. And many roads last night, there's about 10 of them last night, different various locations. And we approve them all. We approve them usually. We wait and put together a large bylaw of the different changes. So they were out last night. We approved a council meeting schedule for next year.
Yeah.
Because we need to know we're getting close to the end of this year.
And that's for people that don't know. Council plans out where they're meeting, had all the dates ahead of the year. So we almost
always meet Monday nights. But as you and I know, we do Mayor's Update on Tuesday night. Well, there's 5 times next year where there's a council meeting on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Because it's a holiday. A Monday holiday, and so we do it on Tuesday. So I had a quick look at that to make sure, yes, those all work, and we'll figure out how to make sure we can do Mayor's Update. The Community Recycling Center Public Liaison Committee. When the Community Recycling Center was established on South Edgeware Road, the province asked that all these recycling centers have a committee that oversees what they do.
Really?
Our committee has never met.
Shocking.
So we decided, why don't we disband this committee? And if something big was to come up about the recycling center, bring it to council and we'll all look at it at the same time.
Practical.
But we'd asked years ago for citizen participation on these committees. Somebody's been sitting on this committee and never had a meeting.
Did they know they were even on the committee anymore?
Yes, they did. Everybody says yes when they come to us. So yeah. I wanted to talk about the snowflake lights, so I wrote it on my agenda.
Yes.
So we talked about it last night and how we're ready for the Santa Claus parade.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much all that we did last night at council. There's some closed session stuff, but we'll talk more about that. What questions do we have up?
There's a public consultation that's happening right now as well.
There is, on the Elma Street proposed construction. Elma Street, of course, runs all the way from Talbot through to South Edgeware.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe it runs all the way down South Edgeware. But either way, it is a complete street project. Again, new curbs, new sidewalks, and also a great deal of underground water and reclaimed water pipes and such. So because it will affect the whole street for a whole year next year, we thought we'd have a public meeting, and we see people wandering into 304 tonight to see it. So I'm glad people are paying attention to the public meetings that the city offers.
Julian has a question about the completion of Fairview reconstruction.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. I keep reading every Friday. For those that have signed up, we all get an automatic email of what was done that week and what wasn't. For those of you that didn't sign up, a little more concern about the underground piece has gone in now, and so the tunnel. The roads on Talbot are now complete, first level of pavement. We've got look, we're thinking end of November, early in December, we'll be able to finish that whole project. It's been a long and a big one because removing a bridge is not easy. So, but it will be very nice when it's done.
It's better than having it fall apart while cars are driving over it, I suppose.
Well, I think that's the intent, is to make sure we take a look at all the assets in the community and say that one has less life left to it than others. So why don't we do something about it now than waiting till it's crisis and having to deal with it? Yes.
Yeah. Did we go through all the events? We haven't even talked about the Christmas tree spectacular.
Spectacular. We did that last week. For those of you that watched last week,
many
and we
people
apologize there wasn't as many questions available to us last week because we were out there with Will and looking at all of the great Christmas trees and the Lego display and everything.
And then I think we took about a half hour after the show, staying live just to answer all the questions that were coming in.
Yes, and great turnout first weekend.
Yes.
Right, and after the Santa Claus Parade this week, then Santa's house will also open at the Christmas Tree Spectacular because, of course, Santa can't come to town without the Santa Claus Parade. So,
and my whole family, extended family, we're all going there to go through it and then get a picture with Santa.
Well, it's perfect.
Yeah.
You and I saw nothing but spectacular,
incredible
at the Railway Museum last week.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you get a chance, head on out there. It's going to be fantastic. I'm telling everybody about it.
Right.
All right. And thanks to everybody who's watching. It's like, hi, Kirsten and Mike and Jen and Dale and Christine and Marion.
Got a lot on.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Marjorie.
Great. Okay. Who's got what questions out here?
There's
what's the council's reaction to the federal budget? Municipalities far more are related to the provincial government, right? So if there was funding in there for the provincial government in the federal budget, then that may help us. But there is some special housing funds in there that we've asked for. As I mentioned, the FCM grant on the environment, it's there. So it's a bit more distance. It's my past, obviously being a former federal politician, but it was fun to watch them scramble to make sure that the votes passed yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? So fun to watch other people having fun at politics. Right?
Oh, man. All right. I got some emails coming in. I'm just going to double check those.
You check those, and I'll keep reading here.
We talked about Santa Claus Parade. That's November 22nd. So happening very soon.
Yep.
Canadian Curling Club Championship.
I guess that's next November. It's 2026. But in November, our curling club has been starting to now gather very good events.
This is incredible. The Canadian Curling Club Championship being held in St. Thomas, Ontario.
Right, at our curling club. Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Downtown Santa, December 6th, where Santa appears downtown and goes kind of store to store. You won't know where and you won't know when. But we often buy people's purchases for them if they're found in the store. So you're putting your shopping downtown on December 6th. You may have good luck.
Yeah, you might run into Santa. It might be very much worth your while.
I can tell you, I've seen this in action, and it works.
Yes.
The other piece we really want to talk about is snow angels. We did see a little bit of snow this week, and we saw London panic because of the amount of snow they got. But here in St. Thomas, we need some more snow angels. We know some of you are snow angels. And so thank you. What this is people who are not capable of clearing their own walks and stuff, but want to stay in their own home. And so we don't demand that in the middle of a snowfall, you're out there helping them, but you'll make friends with the people you are a snow angel for. And the day after you get out and clean their driveway or the end of the driveway so they can get their car out or their sidewalk so they don't fall going out, or the mailman can make it up their steps if that's the case. And so we're accepting right now through the mayor's office. So if you want to play, if you want to be part of this, please call the mayor's office and volunteer as a snow angel. Yep. And we have many families who are snow angels. So there's, kids who can shovel and dad and mom, and they go out and do maybe 4 or 5 houses in their neighborhood. Yeah. And that's a great family activity, and it can be done that way. Or if you're someone who's in need of a snow angel, and we have far more this year need of snow angels than we have snow angels. So we're looking for your help. We know that since snow hasn't really fallen yet, many people haven't got to the point where, I should volunteer again because I did last year. So let's see what we can do to make that work. And please get your name on either one of those lists. If you need a snow angel, let us know. We'll try and match you up with someone that lives close to you. And if you can be a snow angel, please let us know what area you can work on, right?
Over the years, St. Thomas has lit up Pinafore Park over the past couple of years for Christmas time. Is that happening again?
I meant to ask that, but I would assume because we put lights on those trees, yes. And of course, we lit up our own downtown Christmas tree just last Friday night. So, yes. I'd love the Pinafore Park to be more spectacular. And if
Mhm.
I should have asked Adrian today because I was with her. Are we doing more? Are we advancing it? Is each year getting a little bit better? But
Mhm.
I don't know the answer to that. So I may have to go drive through Pinafore Park. But it's November. When do we
Yeah,
turn that on when it starts? I'll check.
I feel like it's
By
early
next week,
December,
we'll certainly
but
talk about it. Right?
yeah.
Okay. I'll get that answer.
Dale was asking in terms of city hall workers, he feels
Yeah.
they've got extra holidays that are not statutory holidays, and
Much
he's
much like many of the industry in town, they've
mhm,
added things like Truth and Reconciliation Day as a holiday, or they've
mhm,
added um, you know, other days.
yeah,
Some federal holidays are different than some of the provincial holidays, like Family Day, for
mhm,
example. So the question is, do city employees? Yes, there are some things built into some of the union contracts or all of the
mhm,
contracts for the workers here at the city hall as to what would be holidays. Remembrance Day is another one that the most government offices are closed on that
mhm,
day. Certainly because many of us are outside of the office doing remembrance things. So if that's the question? Yes,
yeah, and it's in relation to paying taxes, and if are the taxpayers paying for those holidays, or are they
of course.
non-paid?
Of
Yeah,
course, we have great employees in this city, and
mhm,
we treat them just like we would like to treat employees for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a better quality of life, and
mhm,
second, we'd love them to stay working for the city of St. Thomas. We think that we're far better off keeping good people than we are having to cheap
mhm,
out and not have them stay as employees as long.
right.
So there's a fine line between being a great employer and having people happy to work for you. That's part of it, I think.
Mhm. We've got a comment in from Catherine Ann. She's saying, my daughter and I have been snow angels for 3 years now.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Um, share with share your story with us, and if you don't mind, and you want to tell us about it, we could tell you. It
Share
is
it out with the
just,
community.
we'd love to
Yeah.
share it with other people who think this is honest, and it's just simply helping neighbors. This used to be a common thing where you would just go help your neighbors too, right? I remember Dad putting a shovel in my hand and said, Mrs. Beale needs a little help across the street, and it wasn't,
Yeah.
so we could get paid. And I certainly
Mhm.
did turn it into a bit of a business where
Yeah.
others paid, but the cookies were well
Oh,
worth it.
yeah? What
Yeah.
kind of cookies?
Oh, Christmas cookies. It was that time of year, right? So, yeah, just getting out and helping your neighbors. Trust me, they'll love it if you do, right?
Yeah.
So,
What's the timeline for the Leger Vanier project?
I don't know. Are we lagging on it? It seems that I've not heard of any other project that's not meeting its time goals.
Yep, I haven't heard.
So some of the complete street projects we're doing, which means digging down about
Mhm.
150 feet. No, it's not that far, but down to
Mhm.
all the pipes, new curbs, new sidewalks. Um, get this time of year, we're starting to finish them up.
Mhm.
The other thing we did this year, and I'll remind you on the Fairview one, we didn't start it till later because we had First Ave under construction. And we
Mhm.
said, let's not do two north south routes
Yeah.
at the same time, two major north south routes at the same time. So the Fairview project started a little later than we would normally have done it.
Mhm.
It's turned into be a very big project, but we'll get it finished before too long. We said October. It's going to be probably end of November. So.
I have a question about the water capacity concerns that were raised over the past couple of weeks,
Yeah,
and if there's any concerns around that from your end and the project demand of PowerCo and other industrial park businesses.
well, it's not only them. I mean, obviously, we love to attract new jobs to our community and high paying job industries coming to our community. But everything that we attract to our community, whether it's a new home
Mhm.
or a new business, requires us to have capacity on water. We're part of what we call the Elgin Primary Water Board, and we are talking always. I had a conversation with Mayor Morgan from London, who is also a member of that because
Mhm.
some of their water comes from Lake Erie too. And we have to project out 20 years in advance also on water usage. So, yes, we're using water,
Mhm.
and we will. Will 5,000 or 6,000 jobs that come to our community cause us to use water? Yes,
Mhm.
they will. And we'll need to continue to work with our regional partners to make sure that we have adequate supply looking out as many years as we possibly can. We don't try and plan here for just next year, and so we wouldn't do it with water either.
Mhm.
We certainly attend the primary water board and say our use next year is, and Southwold will say we're going to build here in Talbotville and we'll need this much water, and London says we're building too and new industry, and so we'll need water. So it's looked at in a regional sense, and we're good neighbors with our neighbors, and we'll continue to work together with them. That was the primary water board was something Councillor Peters sat on, and after his resignation from council, I've taken on the role on the Elgin Primary Water Board. So their next meeting will have Mayor Joe at it too. I used to serve on it years ago. So with the conversation about water, I certainly want to be there with them and share where what we've already looked at, a different industrial development, but also the housing needs in the city of St. Thomas, including we talk about water in this case, but Mayor Morgan and I talked last week about electrical needs. Is there enough power coming into Southern Ontario to handle the needs of industry and housing in our area? How's wastewater? Well, you and I have talked a lot about water reclamation projects. We have to look at the servicing of new industry in our community and new housing in our community in a collective sense with our region. And I know we've continued to talk also about the psych hospital lands and what housing might end up there. And so how prepared are we for the water use that's going to be in 5,000 to 10,000 homes in that area? So, we have to work together as a region and make sure we can do it.
We have another question. It's about cities. What is the city's involvement, whether through council, staff, volunteer board members, et cetera, in Railworks Coalition, and what risks does it assume as a result?
The Railworks Coalition is an independent and a group of concerned citizens.
I have a shirt.
Yeah, and I do too, and I certainly speak to them on issues. They are a landowner in our downtown through the Queso Station, the Elevated Park, and the Railway Museum. And so certainly we have conversations at each level of the city, whether it's political, what are we doing as part of the secondary plan, obviously, I guess, but also from at the staff level, as we would with any other group or landowner in our community. So we try to ignore no one. Right?
All right. And then Sean Dyke saying, thanks to all, he's the CEO of the Economic Development Corporation for St. Thomas. He's saying, thanks to all city staff through various departments who helped make Light Up Talbot and the Horton Christmas Market such amazing events.
Incredible. I know that under our Economic Development Corporation, most people think, well, that's Sean. He goes out and gets great big industry for our community and creates lots of jobs in our community. And yes, he does. But the people in our economic development, certainly, we all like to make fun of Mike.
I would never. I love it.
I do. But with the Sarahs and the other members of the EDC that take care of small businesses, summer companies, charter companies,
tourism,
the market, all of tourism, right? And now really helping us run our downtown development board in a really positive way. So, look, economic development is way more than a power co. Although it's great that we do that. That's something fantastic that happens. But it's also keeping small businesses in our commercial section like downtown. More small businesses today than there's been in a long, long time. So we'll just keep doing it. And along with other commercial developments and other industry or commercial developments coming to our community. So thank you, EDC, for how you help us in each step of the way of the economy of St. Thomas.
And there's a new downtown business. It's like Galaxy Gulp or something. It's where Ruby Blues was, but they've got treats and they've got drinks.
It's a snack thing.
Quite lovely.
The mayor hasn't made it down there yet, and it's not far from here. Right? And the same thing with Marty Lewis across the street from that, basically in that same block. Boy, we're filling in spots in our downtown. So yes, I would like to. I miss Ruby Blues.
I know. They're still around.
No, they're still making desserts. But this new one apparently is fantastic with some snacks and desserts and special beverages. So I wish I could give you the name and we'll put it up for you before we go. Right?
Yeah. Tony Porter's asking, how did you get involved with Railworks Grayden? Are you a member? I bought a membership, Tony, and then I got a T-shirt with my membership this year.
And I have a T-shirt too. I think I've been a member. Look, and I go back to a group called On Track, I think, when we first took over long before politics for me, when we took over what is now the Queso station and worked hard to save it and make it the viable place that it currently is. But there's been a lot of railway backing in our community for a long, long time. So
my great grandfather worked on the railroad, which is, I didn't really understand the connections when I was a kid.
Casey Jones. So I wanted to, but yes, look, many of the groups and whether they're service clubs or clubs like the Railworks Coalition, they add a value to our community that otherwise wouldn't be there.
And that's why I decided to become a member, go to the meetings, get involved, because you see all the incredible work that all those people are doing. And to see if I can help in any way.
If I could shoot a thank you out, not only to the Railworks Coalition and the work they're doing, certainly with the Christmas tree spectacular right now, right? But the Kinsman has got a Christmas straw thing going on. The Optimists are running the Santa Claus parade.
The Optimists, an incredible group.
What they do. The different Rotary groups that do so much at Christmas for those in need in our community. I'm sorry, but we ate all the smile cookies from last night.
Did you post a picture about that?
I did post a picture and gave council smile cookies so we could talk about it at council.
Yeah.
Because the proceeds from the smile program at Tim Hortons is going to our food bank. And so it's a huge holiday time fundraiser for our food bank, which needs the help this time of year too.
Sean Nicholson saying, if you two were a tag team in wrestling, what would your names be? I have no idea, Sean.
Yeah,
I don't watch
I
wrestling.
Could go off the top rope, as long as the top rope was laying on the ground. No, I used to watch wrestling a lot. My son Adam and I were really into the old WWF. Right? But you're right. I don't watch it as much anymore. I don't even go buy it on TV. But the Hammerlock comes here and runs local wrestling from time to time. There's a group that tours. Probably we should go out. We'll tag team. Yeah. Grayden and I, we could out talk anybody else in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah. I don't know what else there is, but no.
No, I know. Tony's asking me, are you a member of the museum or Railworks? I'm not sure if it's like both or one or how the whole
I think one
works.
gets you all right now. I'm not certain how that goes either, but you can't tell your players without a uniform sometimes, but they're all friends and they're all involved.
Yeah.
So I'm not against, I'm for, right? You want to be involved in our community and do good things in our community, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a member of the museum side, the Railworks one. I think it was overall, but I'd have to double check that for you, Tony, to give you the exact specs on all the stuff. All right. So, hey, we were over time.
Really? Already?
Yeah.
Wow. You guys with your questions. No, it's fantastic. We love answering your questions and we love telling you what's going on in our city. We wish we had more time to do it. And we wish that we think we answer every question every week. So we'll keep trying to do it.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Take care. We'll see you next week. Next week's good for you?
I'm good.
I'm good. We'll see you then, folks.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.